Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. I'm so excited for today's video. I feel like I've been wanting to film this video. I've been editing it. I've been working on it for months and it's finally here. So we bought our house in September 2020. It's been almost 3 years since I did my empty house tour and I haven't done one since. I've shown a few renovations and before and after videos, but I've never done like a full-on house tour because we did so many renovations to this house that we are barely finishing now or that are put on hold for whatever reason. But I didn't want to wait any longer since it's been 3 years since we've done so much. So today we're gonna start with everything we've done from like 2020 to now, to the downstairs portion of our house, and then once the nursery for baby boy is ready, I'll do a part 2 with the entire upstairs area. So hopefully that works for y'all. Well, we learned a lot during renovating our first home, during buying our first home, so hopefully some of these things that we did wrong will help you guys if you're going through the process and you find it as satisfying as I did editing and making this video for y'all. Anyway, follow me on Instagram and TikTok and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Before we did anything to the interior of the house, we actually dealt with the exterior. Our house was both light gray and dark gray, and it had a red brick. I know some people might disagree, but I love the look of a white house with black accents, and that's exactly what we did. These are both colors by Sherwin-Williams. Made our house look so much nicer, so much bigger, and I swear y'all, not to like pat myself in the back, but we did it first. Now everyone on our street and in our neighborhood is doing the same. But here is where the real fun starts. Our garage was in such bad shape. We actually got a discount so we could renovate it from the sellers because it was not up to code. It was extremely old. It had old fixtures. It wasn't insulated. Everything was disgusting. It was such a hazard that we knew we wanted to turn it into an actual room, and we hired a contractor. They leveled out the flooring, they added electricity, they removed all the old fixtures, made it so much safer for us to actually use. And then when we saw it, initially it was going to be a playroom for our daughter and just kind of like a common area, but we ended up loving it so much and it looks so nice that we turned it into our primary bedroom, which will make sense later on when you see that this becomes part of the house. It's not just a garage. Which leads us to our next issue that we had to fix ASAP, which is the trees in our backyard. They were a safety risk, honestly, and we really needed to get rid of them, especially because we wanted to expand the house and obviously we couldn't have 2 trees in the way, but also because branches were falling. We had tropical storm, a lot going on in Houston, and it was just posing a risk for us. We ended up removing 4 trees in total, 2 in the back and 2 in the front, which I'm not going to show the front of the house for obvious reasons. I think this is the only video I have, but as you can see, our backyard is huge and we have a little too much space, so we had to do that in order to keep expanding. Which brings us to how the laundry room renovation happened, because when the garage was done, this was our way to enter and exit the garage and enter the house, right? I was a little sketched out because in multiple occasions people from like AT&T or just random solicitors could just go to the back and see if we were home or even walk in, which they did. So I definitely wanted to get rid of this. Initially I just wanted just a door that we could lock, but because our laundry room, this door right here, connected into the backyard and there was no point in having 2 different entrance points, we just decided to close this area down and expand our laundry room, which we always wanted to do because it was rather small, and that's how this whole thing came to be, just because of this fence door. So our laundry room had a ton of storage, but everything was old, the cabinets were old, things just weren't in the right spots, and it was the only place where we could keep our Wi-Fi, which was extremely inconvenient. I think this was a reality check for us because with the garage it was just so easy, so out of the way. We didn't have to make a ton of decisions because it was bare bones. This was something we needed to do every single day with a 4-month-old. We needed the laundry room, and also it was in our house. We could hear the noise all the time. But not only that, we had to make decisions like, do we want to sink? Do we want to change the washer and dryer? Does it fit? But anyway, like I said, they closed that down, which was the very first step. I just wanted 1 entrance and 1 exit. that's it. But on the outside, he just did plywood. He didn't do siding or any other outdoor material because the plan was always to continue to add to the house. We just didn't know it was gonna take that long, which is kind of a spoiler. And once that little addition was finished, he could actually knock down the wall and add the door, which has been such a game changer. But also we got to add a few more things. We were deciding between a sink or a doggy bath, and we went for a combination of both. I always get questions on my Instagram if we actually use it, if we like it. It has been probably one of the best things we've added to our house. I use it daily, not just for the dogs, for our mops, sometimes to wash off Olivia if she has paint or something like that. It's incredible. I cannot recommend it enough. If anything, I would recommend making it a little deeper and bigger. We just didn't have the room for it. Another non-negotiable for me was this really cool haul tree. I will say it's been over a year and we don't really use it as much as I thought we would, but it's nice to have. I also like that we utilize most cabinets that we had in our living room. The only one we bought was that white drawer one from IKEA, and I love the fact that we use a fun flooring. It was so white and sterile. I think the floor really brings a little more life back into the room, and it's just so nice. I love this renovation. I took a ton of advice from y'all over on Instagram when we were going through the decisions process, and I'm so glad I did. I would change a few things, we might have to, but I love it so much. It was like our first real thing. It taught us so much, and I'm really proud of it. Because the laundry room went so smoothly and I had a kick, like I knew I had to keep going. Our kitchen was always at the top of that list, and we had a contractor. We just had to go for it. Our kitchen was newly renovated, most of the house was, but it was a poor job. The countertops were uneven. It just didn't feel like us. It was also very small, kind of crowded. We didn't have an island, and it just felt like we were boxed in, and we needed the room. We love to cook. We have people over. It just didn't feel like our dream kitchen. And right next to the kitchen, we had this open space that was meant to be a formal dining room, but not only did we never use it, we found the space to be quite awkward. Like it wasn't big enough, or it was too big for other things. Never used it, so we thought, why not just remove this wall and open up the kitchen, turn it into an L shape with an island in the center, and something that actually works for us. And I did a whole video talking about the positives and negatives, our pretty bad experience with our contractor. I don't want to be redundant, and I also don't want to break it down any more than I already have. But here's our kitchen now. Was it what we asked for? Yes, it is stunning. I love it so much. It's literally my dream kitchen. We're so happy with it. We've had holidays here now. Like, it just feels perfect. However, we learned a lot of lessons the hard way with this contractor and with our experience, and honestly, sometimes the cheaper route ends up costing you so much more. So while it does look pretty and it is what we wanted, it was such a challenge, and it taught us a lot. Back to our backyard, because this is where things take a turn for the worse. So we had this porch, and one of the main reasons I didn't like it, besides this ugly porch, was the fact that we would flood not our house but the actual backyard would, because it's uneven. So, and because our backyard is so big and we had so much space, we wanted to turn this into part of our house and move the actual like covered porch into another side of the backyard. So the first step was actually to find someone to demo the existing concrete. This was not foundation, and we obviously needed to be if we wanted to turn it into part of our house. So they did that first, and then we started flooding because it was even more uneven now. Basically, life kind of got in the way, and we lived in this like muddy mess for a few months until they were ready to pour the foundation, and it was pretty inconvenient. So the first thing they did was actually just pour concrete on this area behind the garage, which turned out to be our new patio. We eventually want to cover it, but it's just not in the cards for us right now, but it turned out cute and we use it a ton. This is where things get kind of ugly. So when we had them pour the foundation, we had a death in the family and we weren't there to supervise it or see anything. So by the time it was poured and everything was done and it started raining, all the water would pool and come into our house. So it was completely unleveled. I tried to reach out to the owner of the company, to the contractors that did the work, and she basically just washed her hands and said, sorry, not much I can do. You said it was an addition. And we lived like that, y'all, for months because the city was taking forever to approve our plans. We couldn't close it down without their approval. So here you can see where the plywood is, how high the water got and how bad the water damage was. So this completely destroyed our laundry room, seeping through like the planks in our flooring. It would come in through that door where you see all those towels gathered. It was horrible. In April, we were finally ready to start and we hired the best company ever. I'll leave all the information down below. They built the structure, the roofing, the outside. They took down one of our windows and moved it. They did all of this in 4 days. I was so shook and everything was so well done. But of course, our neighbors intervened and we had to stop construction for another few months. After 4 months of living in this bare bones house with all this mold exposed, we're finally able to start again and finish the project. So they were able to treat the mold and remove the damage, and now all the mold has been solved. And then they tackled, you know, the insulation, the electricity. This was done so efficiently and so quickly. We had a party to host on that Sunday and they were done by Thursday, which blew my mind. It looked amazing, and this is what we're at now. I'm standing in our new dining room. It's not finished yet. This is just primer. They still need to paint. We will not be doing the flooring before the party, so that's kind of staying put. This is what it looks like now. It's been a few weeks since. We actually decided to hold off on doing the flooring until one, we find a flooring that we really like, because we will be replacing the entirety of our downstairs flooring. So it's going to take a long time. It's going to be really expensive, and I don't want to rush into picking out a floor that I'm not going to like later on. We decided to move all our furniture back in. Like I said, we were having a party. The flooring looks horrible and there's no baseboards because there's no floor. And here you can see the division of the floor planks, but there's probably mold under there, so we are definitely gonna have to fix that later on. The saddest part is that this wasn't even the original flooring that we had. We did this during the renovation of our kitchen. They replaced the entire floor. We had this really thin, ugly, grayish planks everywhere in the first floor and upstairs. They removed it and then they added this floor, and oh my god, one of the biggest mistakes we've made during this renovation was picking this floor. It's too light, it's too smooth, it shows absolutely every crumb, every dirt, everything. So that's why we want to replace the whole thing. It definitely brightened up our space, but it was just not convenient, especially with dogs and a toddler. Our living room was fine, but I definitely wanted to do a few cosmetic changes that weren't like too extensive to make it brighter and to fit more of the things we wanted out of it. The first thing we did was remove these cabinets, both in the closet and in this like weird built-in, and we used those during our laundry room renovation. Another thing that made a huge difference, but it wasn't expensive at all, painted our fireplace a really bright color, and then we added a very affordable mantle from Amazon to give it a more like cohesive look. It looks great, especially during the holidays, and it wasn't expensive at all. This is what it looks like right now. We did change our couch to a white sectional. We have a few new furniture pieces. It's really nice and airy. We only have one bathroom downstairs. This is it. This is like a little powder room for guests, and this was such an easy makeover. Just changing a few things made it look so different, and it brought me so much joy to do. We just got this mirror from Amazon. It's a good Anthropologie dupe. My husband changed the flooring. We like this floor so much better. We also have it in our bedroom, and we changed out the hardware and added a few little fixtures like this faucet and then this light. This is what it looks like now. We added a little shelf, a few decorative pieces. I still want to change the vanity, but for now it's good. We haven't done much to our entryway besides just change out the furniture. It used to look really messy when it was just a table, so we decided to go for like a console table with drawers and clear some of these plants, and in my opinion it definitely looks way better, way more classy, and I love it. I love decorating it during the holidays. We really didn't change much. It was just a furniture thing, and then we added the sconces that are not hardwired, and we changed out the boot lamp for this really pretty one from Target. And lastly, for the downstairs area, we have this open room that is to the left of the front door, and this room has been changed so many times. It started off as my office. This is kind of a spoiler, but I have actually been thinking of moving my office back into the space, but TBD. I didn't like that it was open and right by the front door. Then when we got rid of that wall between the kitchen and the dining room, we moved it over here, and oh my god, did it see a lot of changes. I mean, rugs, furniture, tables, chairs, so many things. It was never clean, to be honest. It just collected a bunch of crap, especially during renovations. I think the cleanest it ever looked was this, and because I was hosting a dinner party. I definitely could have cleaned this room, but I don't want to. But this is what this room is right now. It's Olivia's playroom. Has a ton of toys, a ton of crap. Still the old chandelier from when this was our dining room, and then Nata just recently added these arches. Whenever I decide if I'm gonna change it into my office, I'm definitely gonna paint the walls. So they're either going to be like an off-white cream color, or if this stays Olivia's playroom, then I will paint them like maybe pink and add wallpaper. But this is not staying, and neither is that dang chandelier. But it works for now. That's everything for today's video. I wish I had, you know, a perfect after of the downstairs addition, but unfortunately I don't want to rush into things. I've learned the very hard way that rushing into things leads to mistakes and to having to fix things and losing money. So I'd rather have things a little unfinished as of now and slowly but surely work on the rest. Once maybe the downstairs portion is finished, once we do baby boy's nursery, once we finish some smaller details upstairs, once I figure out what I'm gonna do with my office and things like that. But if you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a big thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yo, morning sickness, I mean, it's not even morning, it's 2:47. It's kicking my butt. I am officially 15 weeks and I'm still nauseous. So exciting. Anyway, I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you guys very soon in my next one.